About a week and a half ago on Off Topic Tuesdays, we took a look at all the things the Greenskins need. Now, it would have been awesome to have this particular mod compilation wrapped up and ready to review for then, but unfortunately that was not the case. That being said, it's all ready to rock now, so kick back, grab a drink, and let's get into it.
Wow.
Alright, so first things first, this sort of overhaul for the Greenskins is going to be dependent on three sort of groups of mods. One of these is going to be the expanded roster series, one of these is going to be the Wii special series, and one of these is going to be sort of extra legendary lords from other mod authors. So with that said, let's start with the first one, the expanded roster series. This is going to be a pair of mods, one being the expanded roster goblins and the other being the expanded roster orcs. There's a few other things that we'll add in for units later, but these are the core two. These add in a ton of different options for the greenskins to play around with. This is made by Decomposed and Lost to Insanity. They are super well balanced, super fun to use. A lot of them are sort of reskins for the most part, but they're drawing on a lot of the lore that I mentioned in the previous video. For example, the Hill Goblins, a relatively minute, unimportant unit, is, for example, one of the units added in by the Goblin Pack specifically. This does quite a lot to flesh out the Greenskin roster, which is one of the most unimpressive rosters in my eyes in the game. This also adds in some really cool stuff like Colossal Squigs and Armored Colossal Squigs as late game units, which are every bit as hilarious as you're probably imagining. All in all, amazing pair of mods to get your battles up and running for the Greenskins. Next down the list is the Wii Special Series. Now this has just so many different submods. I'm actually going to send a link down below to the collection rather than to individual mods. Otherwise, I actually think I might go over the character limit for the description. This adds in so much stuff for the Greenskins, like whatever tiny little gaps you had left by expanded rosters, Wii Special will definitely fill in those gaps. This has predominantly a focus on heroes, lords, and legendary lords. However, this also has like a bunch of troll units. This adds in the immortals. This adds in a lot of, again, niche kind of interesting stuff. And again, it does help out or help flesh out the Greenskins factions quite a bit. One of the things I did mention previously is that there is a ton of
Approximately
Greenskin
10
legendary
hours
lords
later.
available for CA to pick from. Well, frankly, Wii Special already kind of beats them to the punch on quite a few. So one of the ones I mentioned in the last video was Tinnet Four Eyes. Tinnet Four Eyes, for example, is one of the characters added in by this. Again, super well balanced, super fun to play as. This gives you more options than you can conceivably ever use for the Greenskins. I'm not going to take a too deep dive because there's way too many little bits and pieces for this one, but basically you've got legendary heroes, legendary lords, a bunch of different faction leaders. I think if memory serves, there's a grand total of 9 of them all mixed in. They're all super well done, and it's super fun kind of collecting them all. If you have, for example, all of the legendary lord unlock options ticked off, this can give you an absolutely ridiculous amount of options to play around as. Personal recommendation, you do as you like, but I would recommend starting a playthrough as Tinnet Four Eyes. He has access to the majority of this stuff, or not the majority, but he has access to more of this stuff out of the gates compared to everyone else. Alright, so you got all these extra legendary lords, all these extra lords, heroes, units, a whole bunch of new stuff, but you still feel like, there's that last little bit that you're hoping to get. Well, with that, you've got a few different options. The first of these options being Mixu's Legendary Lords 2. Unfortunately, the first Legendary Lords didn't add in anything for the Greenskins, but Mixu made up for it with the second one. This adds in Gorfang Rotgut, a character that is somehow missed over by the Wii Special Series in spite of all the stuff they added. As usual with Mixu, the quality for it is just absolutely top notch, fun to play as, good start position, and blends in perfectly with all those previous mods that we mentioned. No issues there whatsoever. The other thing Mixu has available is the generic lords. In that one, he has the Savage Orc Warboss, Savage Orc Great Shaman, and the Orc Great Shaman. You might find this one less necessary, considering that Wii Special adds in a ton of Greenskin lords and heroes. It feels kind of redundant with that one, if I'm being perfectly honest. However, they are not in conflict. You can run the two of them simultaneously and give yourself even more lord options than you already had available. Which leads us to the final mod of this list, and the one that always seems to be the last mod on these videos for some reason, that being Parts Legendary Lords. So this adds in a ton of different options for everyone, including the dwarfs if you want someone to fight as the greenskins. But the lord that we're concerned with the most is Gorbad Ironclaw. Again, just like all the previous ones, this is done extremely well. You're not going to find any dramatic balance issues with them. Their gameplay is fun and unique. Again, it's just one more thing to start up another Greenskins playthrough and have fun with. So that's pretty much going to wrap it up for this video in terms of content. There is one more mod I'm going to throw down in the links. It is one to get rid of the fightiness mechanic for the Greenskins. Myself, with the current CA implementation of it, I actually really can't stand the fightiness mechanic. I think it's frustrating to use, and I just don't like it myself. So I use that one myself. You know, that one's more an optional if you or optional pick. If you like the fightiness mechanic, obviously don't download that. But anyways, it goes a little bit, this whole package goes a pretty good way towards making the Greenskins a bit more fleshed out. Not necessarily on par in terms of gameplay with the Game 2 races, more in the sense that at least you've got a lot of stuff to do with the Greenskins, if nothing else, right? You've got a lot of different unit choices to make their balance a bit better in battles. You've got a bunch of different lord choices to try new and unique things with. You've got new lords, new heroes, right? It's not a perfect fix. CA definitely needs to go through them and fix them proper. But in the meantime, it's a good start towards making the Greenskins at least semi-fun to play with. That's going to wrap it up for this video. As usual, we're going to have an off-topic Tuesdays coming up on Tuesday, so stay tuned for that. But in the meantime, thank you all for watching. See ya!